What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mickey Andrade and today we're in Sydney, Australia and we've got a very special car to show to you guys. This is our new car. For the week, that is. Our friend Joe from Cars from Japan actually allowed us to borrow his car for the next 7 days so that we could drive around Sydney and enjoy ourselves while we're here in town for GTR Festival. This is not just any Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, this is a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo MR Wagon. Very few of these cars were made, none of them left Japan's shores during their production run. They've now started to leak out into other countries such as Australia and New Zealand. We still don't have these in the USA yet due to the 25-year rule. So we thought it was a perfect car for us to take on our road trip this week and really get to have fun with and understand better. Now to many of you, this may look like just your run-of-the-mill Evo 9. And it kinda is, but it's special because it's a wagon. You guys know I love my wagons, so it was a perfect opportunity for us to get a chance to get behind the wheel of one and see how it performs. Now this being an MR model means it has a couple extra things on it that make it a lot more unique than a standard Evo 9 sedan. This car being almost 20 years old, the previous owner has already replaced some of those components. The suspension has been changed, the wheels have been changed out for 18-inch raised wheels, which are probably even lighter than what was on it from the factory. But under the hood, or the bonnet, however you want to call it, we have the same potent 4G63 that was found in the Evo 9 sedan. You've got your standard 4G63 turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. This one makes about 286 horsepower. The previous owner actually spent a little bit of time under here. They added an aftermarket turbo manifold. It looks like a stock turbo and it has a turbo back exhaust system to make it sound a little better. And I will tell you, it does spool up pretty fast. It feels really responsive and 286 horsepower is plenty for this car to be fun and zippy around town. We had a little bit of time with it in the back roads, and I will say that the car feels very light and nimble. One of the things that we found on our previous Evo project was that it felt a little bit front heavy. Now, with this car being a wagon, it adds about 150 pounds over the rear wheels, and to me, it feels a lot less front heavy with that weight back there. There are a couple other things going on here. We've got a cooling plate from Rally Yard, looks like a carbon fiber snorkel for the aftermarket air intake that's on here. But other than that, it looks like about the only mods that have been done to the engine itself. And the cutouts for the strut tops show us that this guy has obviously also upgraded the suspension. We've got upper camber plates with pillow ball mounts, and I'm not sure what coilovers are actually underneath those, but we'll get a peek here in a little bit and check it out. So not a whole lot going on under the hood, but I think that's what's really cool about this particular car. It's a 2005, mildly touched up with a few aftermarket bits, but not overly done. With few to almost no mods, it's almost better, in my opinion, to get a car in this condition because you can make those mods that you want and easily reverse it back to stock if you wanted to. So I really like this setup, and as I mentioned earlier, it is a really fun car to drive up to 7,000 RPMs. On the front area here, we've got basically a stock fascia. Whoever owned this car previously has added a lower lip, which I actually like. It has a nice little faux vent on the side. Gives it a little bit more of a low feel and look. But other than that, this car is basically standard on the outside. I did mention the aftermarket wheels, but let's step around here because basically what you have from the rear doors forward is an Evo 9 sedan. Now back here is where things get different. We're having an absolute blast over in Australia, as you guys can tell. But I need to take a second to let you guys know that later this month, we are going to be heading to the East Coast. That's right, the entire throtl team. And we're going to be going there to do a special car build thanks to our friends at Sunoco. We're on the hunt for a special car that we can transform in just 1 week with some help from our friends. Do you guys have any guesses on what it is we're going to build? Leave us some comments in the comments section down below. Do you want to join us or even see the build in action? Well, you're in luck. And that's because we're going to be showcasing the car at the NASCAR Chicago Street Race on July 1st. This year will be even more exciting than the last because this is the 20th year that Sunoco is going to be fueling NASCAR. Get your tickets using the link down below and join us at the event and meet us. It's going to be one you don't want to miss, and we look forward to meeting you. Now let's get back to the Australia content. So you've got this area here, which is where I said that extra 150 pounds is found, is here. I just love the boxy flares on these Evos. They look so good. And the fact that it's still a pretty small car, but a wagon. this thing's been able to fit all of our bags in here for the trip, which is awesome. So we've got a sports car that can haul all of our stuff and we can have fun in. I don't think it gets any better than that. One of the other things I love about the boxy flares is how they've taken this almost Volvo-esque rear end and it's widened out here, and they've got these cool little add-on pieces with vents in them that look like an active aero, sort of a rally part, which is pretty cool. And underneath the rear bumper, I believe this is a Japanese market thing. These bumpers seem to be quite a bit narrower than what we had in the States. I remember the Evo bumpers having a pretty big shelf on the back. So because they have lesser crash standards in Japan, these bumpers get sucked in because there's no big metal beam back there anymore, or it's much smaller than what we had in the States. And I'm pretty sure, I'm no Evo expert, but I'm pretty sure this diffuser under here differed on the JDM models as well. All in all, it rounds out to what is a very good looking wagon in my opinion. And this could be the ultimate sports wagon. So this car, as I mentioned previously, had lighter 18-inch wheels and different Bilstein suspension. As you can see, it comes packaged with this really nice, looks like basically chrome red MR badge. It makes it stand out from the other Evo wagons on the road. And as I also mentioned previously, this car has a turbo back exhaust system, which makes it look a lot more aggressive in the back. Now, one thing I thought that Mitsubishi did really well on this car, it's always kind of funky on wagons, especially the 260 RS Stasia wagon from Nissan. The wing tends to sometimes look out of place. Now, on this wagon here, I think they did a fantastic job just sort of sloping off the roof line, giving it that little bit of extra length and visual appeal. And it doesn't go much further past the rear bumper. I think it's absolutely perfect. I have seen some aftermarket wings that are a little more aggressive in this. They also look really good. But for an OE part, I think they did a great job here. Rounding out the exterior, as in typical Japanese fashion, this car has the over window visors. Apparently a lot of people in Japan smoke. They can vent the windows when it's raining or inclement weather outside and smoke inside the car, let the smoke out, or just get fresh air, whatever it is. I notice a lot of cars that I've bought from Japan and have seen imported have these, and a lot of them are made by the OEM manufacturer, which is really cool. These are stamped Mitsubishi. I know a couple of my Nissans have them as well, and they have Nissan badging on them. Let's step inside and check out the interior. So on the door panel, I noticed here on the Japanese model, it has a sticker in all Japanese. It says ACD, and I'm pretty sure that means active center differential. And it looks like tarmac, gravel, and snow are the settings. I also noticed those. I also noticed the ACD button here as well. And I think this toggles through on the dash or the gauge cluster, whether it's in tarmac, gravel, or snow mode. Pretty cool. Now, the drivetrain is the same as the Evo 9 sedan. However, on the wagon, this one does not have active yaw control. And it was done like that for a reason. I think they figured if you're buying a wagon, you're probably not going racing. So they took the active yaw control off, which leans this car towards understeer, which most OEs do that because it's a lot safer to have understeer than oversteer. All in all, you're basically getting an Evo 9 with extra room in the back and, in my opinion, more style. You've got the traditional Momo steering wheel that came in the Evo 9s. You've got the Recaro leather seats that came in the Evo 9s. And that carries on in the back seat as well. You've got leather and suede. This car in particular is in really good condition. Now, I did notice there are some electronics in here. We've got an HKS turbo timer and also an HKS boost controller down here. So it does have some adjustment and a turbo timer to let the components cool down when you park the car. And then this particular owner has updated to a modern head unit, which has Apple CarPlay and those sorts of things, which has been really helpful for us getting around Australia, being our first time here. But yeah, basically this is an Evo 9 inside minus the yaw control. I love the gauge package on this. It says Spirit of Competition, has a Rally Art logo. It looks very special for basically a standard gauge cluster. Very cool. So let's check out what this does differently than an Evo 9 sedan. Not that you can't put bags in the trunk of an Evo 9 sedan, you just can't put this many. Check it out. We've got a week's worth of clothes. We've even got Larry Chen's luggage in here with ours. So this thing carries a lot of baggage very easily and nicely. And I'm gonna pull some of it out because there's something in here that I really think is cool. And I wanna show it to you. So A lot of you guys know I own a Nissan Stasia 260 RS. And these wagons oftentimes come with really cool OEM accessories that you have to get when you buy the car from the dealership. And so I've spent a lot of time hunting down a lot of the cargo covers and mats and things like that, and the partition nets and stuff like that for my wagon in Japan. What I noticed first thing when I opened this hatch was this really cool Evo, basically carpet protector or floor protector, and it folds up. These things fold in here, and you can roll this up out of your way. And what it does is actually protects the carpeting under here. So you can throw your bags in and out without screwing up the carpet. And what's really cool about it is if you want to put the seats down, you just reach here and the seats fold down and the cargo, oh. There might be something in the way. Yo, these are reclinable too, dog. Oh, like yours. Look at, yeah. That's sick. So I just found out something I didn't know, and that the back seat is actually reclinable. Check this out, you lift the button, pull back, it has like 4 different settings. That's all the way back. So you can actually use this like a truck bed style, so you have a full flat floor in there. One thing I noticed as well is they have the adjusters for the coilovers here. Still need to peek under there and take a look. Now before we hop in this car to go for a drive, I poked my head down here. This car actually has Öhlins DFV coilovers on it with dual adjustability, which is pretty rad, and that explains why it handled so well on our drive over here. It also has the Brembo brake package from Evo 9, which you'd expect, as most of the componentry is shared with that Evo 9. So let's hop in and see how she does. Slow down. Man, this thing is so fun. So as I mentioned previously, the Öhlins suspension on this is really dialed. I've had really good luck with Öhlins. I've got them on a couple of my Nissan cars, and they're very good. Very forgiving and very predictable, which is nice in a coilover, and also very tunable. The brakes feel really, really good on this. I know this is a 20-year-old car with 20-year-old OEM Brembos, but they do feel good. I don't know if it has a performance pad, but it does have vented rotors or slotted rotors, I noticed. Either way, the braking feels very confident and very balanced for this chassis. So far, this car is a lot of fun. I could see this being like a really, really good daily driver for someone that likes to have fun. You know, like go out in the evening and go to the twisties and have a little canyon run, or just have fun on the way to and from work. Just something that's a little more sporty and not your run-of-the-mill vehicle that you would buy to haul the kids or family or luggage, whatever. Like, you know, you'd buy like a minivan or something like that. This is a great alternative to that. Not quite as big as a 260 RS Stasia or some of the other wagons on the market that are considered sporty wagons, but I think this is probably the best handling of all of them. I will say it pulls really strong from low RPM all the way up to 7,000 RPM redline. It's actually quite impressive. I know the Evo 8 suffered a little bit from being a little laggy, so it took a while for them to get up on the pipe and actually start ripping. This car is pretty responsive, and I don't know if that's because the previous owner has done the manifold and exhaust and everything. Maybe there's something done with the turbo that I'm unaware of, but this thing seems pretty peppy for what it is. Much better than I remember the Evo 8 being. And it likes to go up to 7,000 RPM. It's pulling all the way up there. The other really nice thing about this is the gear shifter. This thing is stock as it gets. And the throw is long, but not too long. And it's definitely not too short. Just right, I think. Now I know Evos typically have a brake squeal. All the ones I've ever driven have, and I don't know if it's because they've had upgraded brake pads or not, but my guess is the way this thing is stopping and slowing down is it has some sort of upgraded pad inside these Brembo calipers. It feels really good and confident. Man, this car pulls nice. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this special little segment on this special little Evo 9 MR wagon. I want to give a huge thank you to Joe at Cars from Japan for allowing us to use this car for 7 days and enjoy it while we're here in Sydney. Please leave us some comments down below. It's time for us to go enjoy this thing, so we'll see you in the next one.